Yay. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you guys that I did not tell you in my live video in the group the other day about the mindset membership was there are office hours inside of a Facebook group. So if you decide to do the mindset membership, Becky, can you hear me? No? Okay. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there should be it says mute or unmute. Make sure that you have that on. Do you see that? Can you hear me now? There should be like a volume button in the lower left-hand corner if you're on your phone or your laptop. Can you hear me now? No? Can everybody else hear me? Okay. Um, hmm. Okay. I don't know, Becky. I would look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen or the right-hand side and make sure that your little volume button is on. Okay. So, can you hear me now? Yay? Okay. I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I want to make sure everybody can hear this. I know it's really crazy, like the first time you do it. I never knew this thing existed until I started coaching, so don't feel bad. So I wanted to tell you guys with the Mindset membership, it's free for the first 30 days, and it is absolutely amazing. And I forgot the best part about the Mindset membership. You get in a private Facebook group that's like, there's a ton of people in there. I think there's like 4,000 people, but it's with Alana, and she has office hours in there. So it's basically like I do with you guys. Like I go live and I talk to you guys about things. She goes live in that group and she does office hours within the Facebook group. So once you accept your mindset membership thing, like you automatically have it. But I think they send you an email and you join the Facebook group and you can get so much information within that group. And it's a little different setup than ours. Like people just post randomly in there. There's not like one set post. There's so many ideas in there and I'm learning so much. So I wanted to make sure you guys know about that, that's available to you. And again, the first 30 days are free. After the first 30 days, if you want to continue in the group, it's like 20 bucks. And I downloaded the new recipe, so I'm going to share that with you guys in the group. So anyways, just wanted to let you guys know about that. And also wanted to share with you a little something from my tracker. So this will hopefully lead our conversation a little bit tonight because I want us to just cover whatever questions you have. So right now in the chat, if you have a question or something you want me to address, go ahead and type it in and I will look at that. And then if you guys want to actually chat and ask me out loud, we can do that too. But I wanted to share with you guys something that I learned from my tracker. This was on February the 3rd. It was on a Monday. I had my Shakeology in the morning for breakfast. And by the way, you guys, I've been putting a cup of frozen strawberries, a cup of almond milk, my Shakeology, and I like to do either like a cup of spinach or some greens just because it helps me feel more full since it's my breakfast. That's been so good. But that was my breakfast. For lunch, I had the cracked chicken. Has anybody tried the cracked chicken? Yes, Lamanda, I can see. Yeah, it is so good. So I had the cracked chicken and I had a wrap with it. Like I put it in a wrap and then I had a bunch of veggies like cucumbers, carrots, all of that. And I felt so hungry, you guys, by 2 o'clock. Like, I remember thinking, okay, like, this is not going to be enough for the next day. Like, I'm going to have to change up something. And because of that, I had my leftover, I had a Cracker Barrel muffin. So I had like half of that, plus a protein bar, plus some cooked apples left over from Cracker Barrel. And I wrote in my tracker, you guys, it's like, you can't see it, but like I put a ton of stuff right here because I wanted to remember how I felt. And I put in there, felt way too full after this. I had way too big of a snack because I didn't have enough at lunch. Even though it looked like a good plated meal to me, it just wasn't enough. And I totally should have just thrown my Cracker Barrel stuff away, but because it was there and I was hungry, I had a bigger snack. And it was way too many carbs, obviously. And then for dinner that night, I had Captain D's shrimp skewers, and I had broccoli, but it was still kind of salty. And I just felt like I was way too hungry at lunch. I actually didn't have a weight gain the next day, but I remember thinking, okay, that's how I felt after lunch, and it led to me eating like a ton of carbs when I probably could have had a weight loss day the next day. So I changed some things up that next day, and I had the cracked chicken. I had my carrots, my cucumbers, like all the veggies, but I added an apple, you guys. Instead of doing the wrap, I added like a big apple. And it was like my FFC, because that's a fiber-filled carb. And it filled me up so much more. It was crazy. Like, I think I had more veggies on my plate too. Like, I actually looked at my plate and actually, like, did the ratios, which, by the way, if you're not doing, it helps you so much. It's really easy to just be like, oh yeah, that looks like 25%, and just like throw it on there. That looks like 75%. But when you actually like do your plate that way, like I literally lined up my veggies 75%, and then I put the cracked chicken in the 25% portion, and then I cut up my apple and put it there. It was like, oh, this is like exactly like the plated method, and it filled me up so much more. And I didn't even need a snack. Like I was full all the way up until dinner. And we had taco salad that night. And then the next day I was down almost a pound. So that is something that I learned from my tracker. Had I not been tracking, it would have been really easy for me to step on the scale the next day and just be like, oh, I didn't lose weight, what's going on? Like, it's so easy to be frustrated if you're not tracking, right? Like, you just automatically think, I can't lose weight. But when you have it on paper, you can adjust and make changes. So that was something that was just like eye-opening for me. And I've been tracking for a long time, you guys. And I'm still learning so much just about what works for me and my body. So I just want to share that with you guys. Does anybody have any questions so far in the chat that you want me to address, or anything that you want me to talk about before we get into next part? No? Not everybody at once. I'm going to let you guys, I am going to, if I can figure out how to do this, I'm going to let you guys unmute yourself so you can. Okay, so I just unmuted all of you guys. Wait. Okay, so I muted you guys, but you can actually go in and unmute yourself if you want to chat, okay? Does everybody know how to unmute themselves? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So I want to first chat about the tracker, since it's the most important. Well, there's so many important parts to the 2B mindset and these principles. Obviously, water first, veggies most, the scale, and then tracking. But I really want to dig into your trackers, and I want to know, like, first of all, hopefully you're tracking every single day. But also what you're learning, like, kind of like what I just shared with you. What is something that you have found within the last week and a half since we've started this? What have you found that works for you with your tracking? Does anybody want to share? Who's actually using the digital tracker? Like online, like the okay, so Jody, you're still using that?
Yeah, I do better if I use that than if I do paper for some reason. I just do it right then.
Yeah. Do you ever take pictures of your food? Like it lets you, does it let you do that?
I haven't tried that.
Okay. If you guys don't know, on the nutrition app, the one that's the one you use, right, Jody?
Yeah.
The orange one. So you can actually go in there and you can take pictures of your food and log your food that way. And that's one thing I was going to tell you guys, that even just finding out which way of tracking is better for you might take a couple weeks. Like when I first started my health and fitness journey, I used my Fitness Pal and I logged my calories and I did it every day. Like it was just really easy for me to do that. But now that I am a health and fitness coach online, I'm on my phone all the time and I do not want another thing to log on my phone. So I'm in a different place in life and I really love my written tracker because I can do that. Like I'm not on the go as much. You know what I mean? So if you are on the go a lot and this is like digital is good for you, then that's awesome. But if you feel like, oh, I'm forgetting to do it, or I'm not like as diligent with it as I would be with pen and paper, then you might want to switch and try it this way. So it may take a couple weeks, hopefully not that long, but it may take off and on of trying different ways to see which way works best for you. um does anybody want to share something that you've noticed? It can be big or small, just something that you've noticed with your tracking so far.
I've noticed that I don't eat certain things because I don't want to write it down.
Because you don't want to write it down? Yeah. Exactly. Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So for me, like, you really take ownership when you're writing it down. And that's why I love paper and pencil too, is because there's something about the connection with writing it and it being in your brain and knowing like, oh my gosh, I ate that, like you're saying, like you don't want to write it down if it's not something that you need to be eating. So that's huge. And just doing that, like the first time recognizing what you're putting in your mouth is huge when you're not used to doing that, One thing for me, you guys, oh, go ahead, Becky. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say yesterday at work I had a slice of pizza because they had a pizza party, and I did not want to have to write it down, but I did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
But you only had one slice, right?
Yeah.
Did you do okay, like on the scale today?
It was up like 0.6 or something like that, but
Yeah, not too bad.
no.
One thing. Go ahead.
I love pizza too, but I've kind of just either made a pizza. It has the pizza sauce in it, and it's just like the pizza with the cabbage soup, and it tastes like pizza to me. I love it. So when I want to eat pizza, I make that. Or if my family wants pizza, we either make them on those tortillas, or if we actually get a pizza out, I just eat one bite and then I scrape the crust off or scrape the toppings off, and I just eat the toppings and don't eat the crust.
Yes, and did you guys see in the group the other day, Cassie posted about how if you go to Cece's Pizza, they will do crustless pizza.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that. Um, but when I go to Cece's, I always get the spinach pizza and I always track it and it works really well for me. Like I can have a weight loss day the next day. I just love the spinach pizza. And it's one of the lower calorie ones too. But like you were saying, Jody, I have been doing, like, if you take the pizza sauce, you guys, you can make any kind of bowl taste like pizza with veggies. So, like, I've been doing the zucchini chips. Like, you can just, like, tonight, did anybody see my dinner tonight? Oh
I
my
did.
gosh, it was so good. So, my husband wanted tacos, and usually I'll do taco salad at dinner since it's 75% veggies, 25% protein. But I had my big salad at lunch and I just wasn't feeling it. So I had some zucchini in the refrigerator and I just sliced it up in little like chips and I sauteed it in a pan with just like garlic powder and all the spices. And then I took my taco meat and I put it on top of the zucchini chips and I added like all kinds of toppings. So tons of accessories. I put some, it was actually like Thousand Island diluted a little bit, but I put that on top with guacamole and salsa and cheese. I did like mozzarella cheese. Um, so it was like just this concoction of yumminess. Like it was so good. But you can make it like a pizza bowl too. You could do like the other night I made zucchini strips and I put the same kind of stuff. I put cheese and pepperoni on it. And mushrooms and onions. So it was like a little pizza veggie bowl. So the one thing I wanted to tell you guys about dinner, because I know dinner is hard, right? Dinner is so hard with the 75% veggies. It allows you to get creative, y'all. Like I never thought in my life I could eat that many, I could make a meal out of that much veggies. But when you really think about like veggies as a base, it allows you to get creative with what you're making. Like spaghetti squash. Like you can make anything with spaghetti squash, right? Acorn squash, zucchini, zucchini noodles, like all of those things you can use as a base and pretty much create whatever meal you want with your dinners. So how is dinner going for you guys?
I liked it when I was eating a baked potato at dinner.
Did you have a weight loss day on those days?
Yes, when I did dump the junk, those recipes had a baked potato, and I was good with that.
Well,
But
and like
now
I
it's
said in my
hard.
video, the video that I did in the group the other day, you guys, you can eat carbs at dinner if that works for you. Like you can track it and see. But like I was talking about in the video, like it makes sense to eat carbs more earlier in the day because that gives you the most energy, right? So you should try it and see how it works. But definitely there are times that I switch out my carbs. Like if I really want a carb at dinner, I may switch it out at lunch, like not eat a carb at lunch, an FFC, and then I'll have it at dinner. You can totally do that. Like, I don't want you guys to feel like this is a set guidelines and this is what you have to follow, right? These are principles that have really amazing science behind them, but they're not the end and be all of weight loss, right? Like, this is a lifestyle. So, tracking it and seeing how it works for you is the key to anything, okay? And I will tell you guys that um there are like sometimes if I'm just really wanting like something that's carb like, I'll use like breadcrumbs sometimes, like when I'm cooking, and I don't count that as an FFC because I may just use a little bit of it. Or I may add like a couple Benito's chips to my taco salad every now and then. And I'm not going to count that as a carb because it's just a little bites, you know? that's not going to make a difference in your weight loss, especially if you didn't have that many at lunch. So you can definitely tweak it to see how it works for you. But the whole, the whole thing with the percentages is you're giving yourself that energy from the carbs, fiber-filled carbs, not just any carb, right? But fiber-filled carbs at the beginning of the day and at lunch. And like you were saying, Becky, because Becky and I have been messaging back and forth, you were saying you had low energy on some of those days. And that might be, that might help you having a carb earlier. Megan said, I do miss those baked potatoes in the evening. That's good to know because I was thinking about making the lasagna soup for supper. Oh, yes, that's a good point, Megan. So, did y'all see my lasagna soup recipe? Okay, here we go, you guys. This is a good example of an FFC at dinner. When you eat lasagna soup, the whole bowl is not full of lasagna noodles, right? Like, that is not going to count as a full carb or a full FFC. So I would totally eat lasagna soup, and I have before at dinner, and I will track it and I will see how it works the next day. If I have a weight loss day, it's good, and I'm sure I have before. I can't remember a certain instance, but that's an example of when you could eat a carb at dinner and it's not going to be that big of a deal. But I want you guys to feel like you have that freedom in choosing what you eat, but definitely switch it out. You know what I mean? Because if you're eating a carb at breakfast and lunch and dinner, I'm going to guess that you're not going to have a weight loss day the next day. So that's where you really need to hone in on your tracker, and you need to see what works best for you. Okay. And definitely how late you're eating too, because that's a huge part of when you eat carbs at dinner, your body doesn't have enough time to digest that, especially if you're eating like at 7:30 at night. That all plays a role in your weight loss the next day. So, but yeah, I want you guys to feel like you can totally play around with it and see what works, for you. And the big thing, you guys, is how it makes you feel, right? Like food should fuel your body. Like the day that, in my tracker that I was telling you guys about, the day that I was so hungry after lunch, that led me to just overeating. Like that was dumb. Like I should have had more of a protein at lunch. Like it was a little bit of chicken in my wrap. I knew it wasn't enough protein. And it just didn't hold me over. But when I ate the next day with that big apple, and y'all, my plate was like full. Like I'm a big volume eater. That's why I love this program. If I can see a plate and it is just like full of goodness, I feel so much more satisfied when I'm done. And I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. And that's what's really cool is you can fill your plate up with veggies and all the accessories and all of that and still feel like you're satisfied, right? So the next day, I felt so much more in control. And that's what's important. How you feel after you eat a meal, how satiated you feel, which is just the satisfaction that you get from, your proteins and your carbs and all of that. That is just as important as your weight loss because you're making this a lifestyle, right? Like this is not about a one and done kind of thing. You're learning like what fuels you, what makes you feel good, and what gives you that control where you're not like going to the workroom and eating all the cupcakes or really, really wanting, the greasy pizza the next night or whatever. Because the more protein you eat, the more satisfied you're going to feel. Like that's just part of it. So let's talk about anything else with the tracker. Does anybody else want to say anything else about the tracker that you kind of noticed or seen just with you with your weight loss days?
I will say, during the tracker, like if we have, we've had a lot of birthdays lately in our family and we go out to eat. So if I've done that for one meal, it has really helped me not like give up for that whole day. I had still had a good breakfast, and I'll still have a good lunch, and then maybe dinners where we go out to eat, or lunch, whatever. But I don't feel like I don't know, for some reason writing that down makes me see I didn't waste the whole day. Like, I still ate okay for those 2 meals, and and I try to also be better when we go out now and be more mindful. But that's really been helpful to me, because a lot of times, once you mess up for the day, you're like, well, I might as well just have this and this and this. No, I don't feel that way when I'm writing it down. That has helped me not feel like the day has been totally wasted. I've done okay through the day. So yeah, that's helped.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think we all have that mindset too, when it's like, I used to be, and that's why like calorie counting is just not my thing now, because I would put a peppermint in my mouth, you guys, and track it, 20 calories. And I would get upset if I was like over in my calories for 20 calories. Like, that's so dumb, and I would like just be so consumed with like calorie amounts. And when I would go out to eat, like, I would think, oh, well, I've already messed up this morning, or I had one little thing like 20 calories off, so I just might as well blow the whole evening and eat whatever I want. Like, it's that mindset is just so ingrained in you when you're like constantly trying to think of numbers in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really cool, especially when you see on your tracker that you had a weight loss day after you went out to eat.
Yeah, that's happened a few times. I was like, how in the world did that even happen?
Yeah.
But I know it's helped that I've, had more water too, which is making a big difference. But yeah, it was a nice surprise.
Yes.
When it's happened a few times, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you see like, oh my gosh, this is not as hard as I'm making it out to be. Like, I'm really okay when I allow myself the moderation of treats and the water and all the things, water, the scale, veggies, most, like, all those things work together to kind of show you like, oh, it really works out.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to say anything else about the tracker? Let's talk about the veggies that you guys are experimenting with. What have y'all learned are your go-to veggies? Like, what are you discovering are your veggies most options?
Green beans.
How do you cook them? Like roasted?
No, just canned green beans and cook them because they're just quick and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Although I did like that cauliflower recipe that you had up there, the animal cauliflower.
Yes.
I
Oh,
really liked that. My husband liked it too. I was so shocked, but he did.
yay. Did you put the Thousand Island on it and the ranch, or
It's the ranch.
just the ranch? Yeah.
Hmm.
My husband loves that too.
I have never eaten cauliflower in my entire life. Not even a bite. I do not like vegetables.
Girl,
so this has really been a challenge.
yes, you have been missing out on all the good stuff your whole life.
I've been eating French fries a lot.
Isn't it amazing how much you can learn about like the things that God just put on earth for us? Like the plants that we're supposed to be eating, like how yummy they can actually be when you just change it up and like add some cheese or add, like, that's what I love about this is you're really eating the things that you're supposed to be eating, but you learn how to make it yummy, you know? And there's so many different veggies out there that I haven't even tried. Um, One thing I was going to tell you guys about is the cabbage steaks. If you have not made roasted cabbage, you're missing out because it's delicious. You can drizzle some yum yum sauce or Thousand Island on top of those cabbage steaks, and it is roasted, it tastes so much different than just like regular boiled cabbage, which I always had growing up. I never knew like you could roast cabbage. But that's a really good, especially at dinner, if you're trying to have a base. And there's a new recipe, you guys, from the Mindset membership, and it's cheesy turkey cabbage steak sandwiches. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen it in the Mindset? So she slices up the cabbage steaks, like one cabbage steak. She does 2 of them. She puts the spices on it, roast it in the oven, and then she puts like deli turkey on top with cheese and makes a little sandwich out of it. And so you eat it like a sandwich, and she put like wrap around it, which you wouldn't even have to eat it like a sandwich. You could eat it with a fork if you wanted to. But it's this cheesy turkey cabbage steak sandwich, and it looks delicious. I printed that recipe out today. It's in the Mindset membership. You guys all have that for free. You need to go check it out because there's really good recipes. Alexa said cauliflower rice is my go-to. Yes. Oh, girl, you need to try the roasted cabbage. You need to. There's also turnip fries that you can try. I've been wanting to make those again. If you're wanting fries at night, if you are like wanting a burger and you want that crunchy, just like, sticks to pick up, you can do carrot fries or you can do turnip fries. So you just get the turnip, you chop it up, put some olive oil on it, all the spices that you would do regular fries with, and they're pretty delicious. They don't taste like potatoes, but it's pretty close. I mean, it doesn't have that carby, starchy taste, but it's really good to eat with ketchup. Like I eat them with ketchup with my burgers sometimes. I haven't made them in a long time, but that is a really good option. So does anybody have any other veggie ideas, or do you want me to just give you guys some more ideas? Because I could talk about food all night. So some more dinner veggies for you guys, just to give you I'm looking at the chat. If you have questions, put your questions in the chat so I can answer those for you. So at dinner, my biggest dinner veggies are the cauliflower rice, like Alexa said, because you can literally, anytime you want rice, make cauliflower rice. I make cauliflower mac, like mac and cheese. I don't know if you guys saw my post the other day. Yes, Lamanda. Yeah, girl. So, okay, there's popcorn seasonings. You guys need to invest in the popcorn seasonings. You can get them at Walmart. They have a nacho cheddar popcorn seasoning. They have a ranch. They have sour cream and onion. Like, use those because they're low calorie, and you can add them to your cauliflower rice, and you can make any flavor of cauli mac that you want. So you can do nacho cheese. I've done the white cheddar before. And you guys know those little Laughing Cow wedges that you can buy? So you can put in a skillet your cauliflower rice, add 1 wedge of the cheese. It makes it so creamy. It'll melt in your skillet. And then you can add your white cheddar popcorn seasoning or the cheddar seasoning, whatever flavor you want. You could even do ranch. I usually add garlic powder and salt. I just add all the spices, and it is so good. So good. So that's an idea for you for mac and cheese at night. If you're like craving, that carb, it tastes just like a carb. So cauliflower is amazing for stir fries too. Zoodles and any kind of zucchini chips you can make as a base. Carrot fries, turnip fries, those are all fry options that you can do. Spaghetti squash is amazing for any kind of pasta meal that you want. You can do pizza spaghetti squash. I've done that a lot. You can do taco spaghetti squash. Those are all options. Yay! Whose iPhone? I don't know who that is, but whoever you are, yes, you need to try all of those. I can't see who you are. Okay, so I want to just round this out. I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask any last questions. Do you guys feel like you're getting the hang of the to be mindset? Like, do you feel like I know some of you said you do feel like your mindset's changing. But do you feel like you're really understanding the principles and seeing how it works for you? Somebody talk to me.
I think I'm getting it. I'm hoping by the end of the month I'm going to really have this down pat, figure it out. I mean, it is complicated and hard at first because I kept thinking I have too much I have to do. But it's really worth it putting in the work for it.
Yes, I'm glad you said that.
I feel so much better as far as like my stomach issues. That has totally changed. And that's worth it right there for me.
Yes, that's awesome, Becky. I love hearing you say that. And you know what? Anything in life that you want to get better at, you have to put the work into, right? But people think like your weight loss and how you look like it's just going to be easy, and it's not. Like it's the same as anything else in life. Like you have to study it, especially if you know nothing about food, which most people don't. Most people don't know what the food groups even are. And that's what I love about this program is you are schooled in food, right? Like you are schooled in what the food groups are, which is so amazing. And then on top of that, you know how to plate up your meals so that it's best serving you and your body, right? But your hard work is going to pay off because you have put so much into this, and you know you are learning as you go, and you're seeing what works for you with your tracker, like, and you are going to get it. Like you're going to make it work for you. Megan said, I feel really good about it. I think I have a pretty good handle on it so far. I'm just focusing on my plate percent and taking it one meal at a time. Yes, Megan, that's perfect. One meal at a time is really all you can do. And it takes practice, right? Like you're not going to know it all in the beginning. You may not see weight loss days right off the bat, but you learn from your tracker what gives you those weight loss days so that you can, you know, repeat those over time. And a lot of times it's going to be your water, right? Going to be water first. If you're missing your water, that's a huge part of weight loss. And using your tracker and actually writing down. Oh, and this is one thing I was going to tell you guys too. One thing I've learned for myself, I'm a big bites, licks, taste, you know, scoops kind of person because I love to cook and I love food. So anytime I'm around food, if it's my husband's, if I'm cooking, if I'm at a party and it hasn't started yet, I like go and nibble before it even starts. Like that's how I am, you guys. And I have realized from my tracking that all those little bites, licks, and tastes add up. Even though you don't think they do, they add up in calories and it doesn't help your weight loss, right? So it's like you said, Becky, I don't want to write down that I had a lick of peanut butter, you know, at midday when I know I don't need that because, you know, half a lick of peanut butter is like 60 calories. Like that's a ton, you know, like peanut butter is high fat. So it really adds up over time. And that's just something that you don't know unless you're tracking, right? Unless you're aware of it and it's at the forefront of your mind. Like it just has to be that priority so that you can learn as you go. Oh man. Yeah, Lamanda, you need to be drinking that water before 2. Yeah, that's really hard. And when you're traveling, it's really hard to get your water in when you're traveling. When I was in LA, like on the plane and stuff, I couldn't drink as much because it's just so hard. But you feel so much better when you drink, when you get your water in. Does anybody have any questions for me? I can't believe there's been no questions. Like, have I just talked too much?
I have one. It's kind of a dumb one, but
No.
what kind of bread? What is a good fiber-filled bread? Like, I want some toast, and I don't know what kind to get.
Eat your toast, girl. Eat it.
I know. What's best bread?
Okay, so if you're wanting bread, get whole wheat toast. Whole wheat bread. 100% whole wheat. And when you look at it, it doesn't need to be I mean, you can eat honey wheat if you want to, but it's not going to have as much fiber in it. And it's going to have some artificial stuff. So I just always get the 100% whole wheat bread. And when you look at the ingredients, make sure that very first ingredient is whole wheat. Because there are it's so tricky because it'll say wheat bread or honey wheat or even sometimes like all whole grain. And then you look at the ingredients and the very first thing is enriched flour. Enriched is no good. You want whole wheat flour. That's what you want the first ingredient to be. So if you're wanting toast, I would just go for any whole wheat option. There's a bread. It's called the Lewis brand, and it's like a short loaf, and I love getting those because my husband and I, it's just the two of us. And they have a really good whole wheat flavor. Like, I like the flavor of it. It's the Lewis brand. You can get it at Food City. Lewis, yeah. But you can do any, like Nature's Own or any of those that's whole wheat. You can do that. Megan says she wants sandwiches. I saw that in your Insta stories, Megan. How do you make your shakes as a meal? Like, what do you add to it to make it a meal? Okay, so for my shakes, I add spinach. I add a cup of frozen strawberries. And I either do the chocolate or the vanilla with it. Both are amazing. You can also add frozen cauliflower, you guys. It's not my favorite, but a lot of people love it. It makes it a little bit creamier. And it also bulks it up so it makes you feel more full and it gives you those veggies, right? So that's an idea for you if you want to add like a cup or a half of a cup of frozen cauliflower with a fruit. You could even do a frozen banana and spinach. And don't forget that you can make your shake just plain or even with fruit and then add something else to it. Like you could have oatmeal in the morning. You could have a bowl of oatmeal. That would be your FFC, right? And then you could have your Shakeology as your protein. So you don't just have to have your Shakeology for your meal. Like you can add, like have a side of your FFC with it. I've done all of the things. Like sometimes I'll make like muffins, like, healthier muffins, and I'll have a muffin for my FFC in the morning, and then I'll have my shake as my protein. But typically just the Shakeology doesn't fill me up. Like I have to have something else with it. I have to have, a good fruit, and it has to be a cup, like a full cup, because that's going to hold you over with all the fiber in it and all the good nutrients. Or, add something else to it. You can also do English muffins. That would be a good FFC. There's 100-calorie English muffin that I absolutely love. It's the Thomas brand. It's really good. You could use that, maybe put some peanut butter on it. Yeah, the beach bars are really, really good as a snack because they have 10 grams of protein, which is crazy for a protein bar. Good questions, you guys. Anything else? We're getting a little late on our time, so I don't want to keep you guys forever. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes, the Thomas brand is so good. Okay, yay. Well, I am so thankful and just proud of you guys for hopping on with me. I hope this was helpful. Was it helpful?
Very helpful.
Oh,
Hey,
was.
yay.
can you encourage us for tomorrow? So many treats, snacks.
Yes. Oh, that's
Oh, it's tomorrow.
especially out of school. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's my tips for you guys.
Okay.
Out of sight, out of mind is going to be really hard because it's going to be everywhere, right? So you need to make sure that you have good protein before you go in so that you feel full, you feel, satisfied. And decide on if you want to treat yourself or not. Like if you are like dead set on your goals and you're like, nope, I don't want to stray away from anything, then have that mindset and keep your water in your hand at all times, right? You could also make some hot tea or have like a tea, a little glass of something to where you feel like you're treating yourself, but not. But I think having something in my hands when I'm around that kind of thing really, really helps me. If you want to treat yourself, then have a small chocolate, a small Dove chocolate or two, like have one of the individual things, but keep it to that, you know. Or sometimes in my mind, if I know that I'm going to go home to a treat, I won't eat it at school or I won't eat it when I'm out. Like I'm not gonna lie, my husband and I, we're gonna eat a big fat cupcake tomorrow. Like that's gonna be our treat. And it's because Cupcake Divas in Cleveland, yep, that's what we're having. But we haven't had one in a really long time, and I'm gonna look forward to that. You know what I mean? And I'm also gonna make room for it at lunch. Like I probably won't eat a carb at lunch, just because I don't want to go overboard. So that's how I'm gonna do my day tomorrow. But it depends on your goals. It depends on, just your mindset. But I would say having something in your hands, keeping your water ready. Don't be at a loss of water. Like take 2 water bottles if you need to. Like when I'm traveling, I take 2 big containers so that I don't have the excuse of, well, I ran out of my water bottle and I can't drink anything.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah.
That was a good.
Yeah. And I really love chocolate covered strawberries at Valentine's Day, and you can make them healthy, you guys. You can do dark chocolate. You can even do regular milk chocolate and just dip it halfway and have like 2 of the strawberries. And that's a really good treat, or 2 or 3, you can make healthier treats. Shakeology is an amazing healthy treat that you can add yummy stuff to it. Those mug cakes that I've been posting are delicious, absolutely delicious. There's also a brand new recipe on the Mindset membership, you guys, and it is the what's it called? I have it right here. No bake chocolate bonbons. And look, y'all, I made me a little binder, and I literally went to Google and just printed this picture, and I'm putting all of my To Be Mindset stuff in here. So all of the brand new recipes from the To Be Mindset membership, I've been printing them off, and I put them in the little clear, the little clear things. There's a mango fruit roll recipe, but the chocolate bonbons, it looks really good. It has Shakeology in it. It has cocoa nibs, and almond butter and dates, and some kind of berry powder in it. So it sounds really, really good. But like making something like that, or even protein bites, would be good to have as a little treat if you don't want to splurge, crazy big. Any other questions? I don't know how I forgot about Valentine's Day. That was a big one. Okay, yay. Well, these make me really happy, you guys. I love helping you guys with food stuff, with your trackers. always know that if you're struggling, like the group that's what it's for. Like I want you to learn through this, and I want you to message me if you are tracking and you're still not seeing results. Then we need to look at your tracker. Like we need to come up with a plan, change some things up, and figure it out, because weight loss is a science, right? You can lose weight. You just have to make those changes as you go. So that's what I'm here to help you do. And you guys are awesome. Good luck tomorrow, especially all you teachers. Post in the group so that you're, held accountable. But I'm going to log out. Thank you guys so much for being here, and you're awesome. Bye, you guys.
Bye, Joy.
Bye.